enough youth for their wars. The word's gotten out. This is the Achilles heel of the empire. We can stop it in our local high schools. They can't get enough troops. There are 5 avenues of resistance in the public high schools as I see it. The first one has to do with the opt-out form. And I passed out my bullet points here, so it might help you make a little bit more sense. Basically, in 2001, the Bush administration passed legislation that commonly became known as the No Child Left Behind Act. In that piece of legislation, it basically says that if a military recruiter requests the names, addresses, and phone numbers of kids in a given high school, he is entitled to receive it, provided that the school lets parents know they have the right to opt out of those lists being given to recruiters. The legislation is weak because it really doesn't specifically mandate how the hell that's supposed to be. So in Richmond, a cursory look at 15 public high schools in the city shows that none of them have any public notice of the opt-out. So consequently, parents aren't being proactive in removing their children's names from lists that are forwarded to military recruiters. In Montgomery County, Maryland, about 10 years ago, I organized a coalition, and we went to the school system and we said, you guys got to do a better job. Maybe put it on your website, maybe get some forms out. And they did. They mailed out notices in 6 languages. So did the next door school system. So did 5 or 6 school systems. Then we went to the state legislature in Maryland and we passed a law that mandates the placement of the opt-out notice on the only form parents have to fill out every year, which is the emergency contact form. And up at the top right-hand corner of the form, it says, do you want your information going to the military about your kids, yes or no? And about 90% have opted out. So that's very cool. It's the only state in the country to have a legislation like this. And we've been working this issue for 10 years, and we've been lobbying legislatures across the country. We haven't been able to get in another state. So the opt-out is important. At the least, make sure that filling out the form is mandatory in your school. There's no reason for it. You can look at the law, look at the bullet points. The second avenue of resistance has to do with military testing in the public schools. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or ASVAB for short, is given to 690,000 kids across the country every year in 14,000 high schools. Now they parade this damn thing as some sort of career. Well, it'll help them decide that they want to be a policeman. What they find out on Facebook, they don't just know that all the things that they find